Hey Cam, I think we asked you this prior to the regular season game, but you have yet to get a win against the Jacks, and I'm sure you'd like one in Frisco. But what do you have to do differently personally? I know it's a team game, but how do you think you've played against South Dakota State so far, and your chances against them, and what needs to change?
I think for myself, just not beating myself like it. Last time we played them, I think everybody knows what happened. So just trying to play smarter and just celebrating with my teammates and not with the other team. And then honestly, I think I've played some of my best football against the Jackrabbits the last 3 times that we've played them. So that obviously gives me confidence going into this game.
How about the first half? Aside from what happened, you guys were on fire for that first quarter and a half against the Jacks, and obviously you'd like to replicate that success. Does that give you a little confidence, even more confidence going into Frisco?
Absolutely. I think having done it before, like you said, we did a great job in the passing game during the first half. So we need to keep that up next time we play them. And I think the receivers have a bunch of confidence too going into this game.
Okay, thank you.
Craig Haley.
Cam, thank you for the time. Obviously, everybody can look at the statistics and see what you did well, what you've done well against the Jacks. How would you describe what you've done best against them?
I think really I've prepared really well against these guys. I think we have a good idea of what they're going to do because we've played them so many times. These coaches have a really good feel on what they're going to do. So that kind of just builds us up, us players. So that really just gives us a lot of confidence. So just going out and playing fast. I feel like last time I played them, I just played really fast. I didn't really think much. I just kind of reacted to the looks that they gave me. And I thought I was very efficient in the passing game. I think I can improve on the quarterback run game against them. I didn't think that obviously was very good last time.
Thank you, Cam. Best of luck.
Thank you.
Eric Peterson.
Yeah, just kind of expanding on that quarterback run game. It just seems throughout the playoffs, you've kind of taken that to another level. Last game of the regular season, 5 rushing touchdowns. What is that something you've seen more open, or is that just later in the season? I guess they're more willing to maybe put you at risk or have you run more just as the season progressed.
I think there was a lot of factors that played into that. I think you kind of hit on a few of them, but just the risk factor. I know we have a lot of depth in the quarterback room. Cole Payton's more than capable of winning a national championship with this team, but I think Coach Roll, he's seen some things on film that he really liked, because usually when we bring Cole in, most of the people in the stadium know that it's going to be a quarterback run for the most part. So just keeping the defense on their heels, really, just with myself running the ball. And, the offensive line has done a great job opening up holes for me.
A national championship, but on top of that, a rivalry game. How hard is it, or what is the challenge of keeping the emotions in check as to maybe not get too over excited? And then you starting a national championship game last year, how does that maybe help in that regard?
I think having played in a national championship before is really going to help. And then I think this is my 25th start, so I've got a lot of experience underneath my belt. It's just going out there and playing fast for the last 4 quarters of this season.
Thank you.
Jeff Kolpak.
Hey, Cam, how much does experience play in this 3-week plan leading up to the game?
I think a lot, having done this prior last year, and these coaches, you can't give them too much time to come up with new plays and stuff like that, because they're great at their job, and they're going to find every weakness, and these guys have done a great job, just providing a perfect game plan for us so that we can go out there and have fun and cut it loose.
As a quarterback, can you imagine not having an indoor facility in November and December, especially the way the winter's been in this month?
No, we talk about that all the time in the locker room. We joke about it. We're very blessed and fortunate to have such a great facility over there.
What would it be like for a northern team without one? I mean, how would you manage?
I don't know how you could do it. I think you get a lot of guys hurt just with soft tissue injuries, and I don't know. There might be guys that quit. I don't know if I could handle it if we practiced outside in 10-degree weather. I don't know if I'd be here right now.
Okay, thanks.
Craig Haley.
And because your team lost that tight game with the Jackrabbits, and there's been so many injuries throughout this season, playing them makes it a little harder. But how much did your team need this to be against the Jackrabbits?
I wouldn't necessarily say that we needed it, but we got a lot of motivation in that locker room. And for myself, being 0-3 against them, obviously that lights a fire underneath me. And obviously in the biggest stage in college football for the FCS, it just couldn't have planned out any better.
Thank you.
Dom Izzo.
Cam, I know I've asked you this before about basically getting thrown into that game against SDSU in the spring. Now to have this matchup for the championship, just describe that and the emotions of thinking back to that game in April of 21.
I think I've came a long ways from that game. Just confidence-wise, I think I feel a lot better just playing within our offense since that point. But, I think looking back on the last time that we played them in the fall, I didn't hit on this earlier, but knowing that we can play with the best team in college football, I think gives us a lot of confidence too. We had them and we were in the game for, the entire game with them. So knowing that we can do that with the best team in college football gives us a lot of confidence.
What did you see offensively going back and look at it in the second half that just was not clicking that day in October?
I think they changed some stuff up against us. They did a really good job. They just played really, really hard on the offensive defensive line. That's really what I saw. We didn't create a lot of space. I didn't, on that last drive, I didn't do a very good job of trusting my reads and making the right choice on where to go with the football. So that was definitely on me. I think we all kind of played a part in, not finishing that game.
You worry about being too amped for a game like this? You've been down there before, so I know that helps, but it's obviously the national championship, but it's South Dakota State. How do you balance that for this?
I think just with experience too, like I talked about earlier, the more you do it, the more calm you feel. You know when to get amped up, when not to, and you can't get too high or too low. So, we still got 10 days until the game. So obviously I'm chomping at the bit to get down there and play, but it's just trying to keep a level head right now.
Thanks, bud.
We'll take our final question from Zach Borg.
They've kind of been playing more mobile quarterbacks in the playoffs. Obviously, the guy from Holy Cross gave them a lot of problems. They played him a lot in the previous game. They seem to do better defensively against kind of the design quarterback runs, but they can be maybe broken down a little more on when a guy takes off. What do you think what do you expect the balance to be? Do you look to maybe try and take off on some passing plays, or do you kind of just run the same stuff that you're used to at this point?
Well, the coaches are still coming up with the plan right now, but I know last year when we played them down at their place, I had a few big plays just by scrambling out of the pocket and making some plays with my feet. There were some design run plays for me that were really good too, but we'll see what happens. I think the Rams are getting healthy and they're doing a really good job. They've been blocking well the entire year, so really just trusting those guys and being patient.
Thank you.
All right, we don't have any further questions for Cam Miller. Cam, thanks for your time today.
Thanks, guys.